As Kenya prepares to roll out a new curriculum that will focus on skills rather than performance in exams, it is a moment of reckoning for private school owners and parents. Most parents we spoke to admitted that they rush to private schools to ensure their children perform well in national exams. But with national exams now being pushed to the back burner, what will be the private school's advantage? This is the real issue behind the big headlines you have seen in Kenya in the last few days. And I spoke to all the stakeholders. Take a look. Year in, year out, these have been the sights and sounds on television screens as national examinations results get announced. Schools topping the national charts in performance would look forward to such times when extra feathers would be added to their caps. Overall, private schools have been exhibiting better academic performance than the public schools.
We have reached a situation where examination drives curriculum.
With the imminent revised curriculum framework, which focuses on competence rather than summative evaluation, will private schools lose their edge?
As a parent, I feel the new system is good because there's no use now to take kids to private schools, and it's a general continuous assessment. And that way you can assess your kid. Private schools look for results, immediate results of kids who pass well.
What they would need to do is just to embrace the competence-based curriculum and go ahead and ensure that this is embedded as a culture within their schools. And once that happens, parents will still go there because you'll want to go to a school where you can see that your child, is developing that culture of being able to do what they're required to do.
Let me disabuse the notion that private schools have excelled because of performance. Nothing can be further from the truth. Private schools have excelled because of a competency-based curriculum. When you look at the private schools, the ECD is the most popular. We have over 14,000 private ECD centers across the country, and they're very popular.
The Kenya Private Schools Association CEO Peter Ndoro, who was also a member of the new curriculum's steering committee, says private schools now have a chance to shine even brighter in the new system.
Many people have been looking at performance, but private schools have been doing much more than performance. Now the competency that the private schools have been impacting on the children will now be coming out on the fore, because everybody else has been focusing on one aspect, performance.
Opinion leaders in the sector point out that while the new curriculum poses a lot of merits, it is one that would be a costly one to implement. This would thus call for more investment into the sector, giving more leverage to private investors who either have easier access to funds or have profitable ventures to fund the process.
System as it is now is that 2 laboratories are too expensive for us to run. You may know of schools that children see equipment that they are supposed to use in the examination room because they don't have a functional chemistry laboratory or biology. Now, can you imagine we're going to add onto that load maybe a state-of-the-art gymnasium for those who want to pursue rugby and bodybuilding? You can imagine there are others who want to pursue football. So it means, literally, the equipment our national team uses to train for football needs to be in a secondary school that has chosen football as one of the offerings. That is where the challenge is, and it's going to cost us a little bit more during the initiation stages because money must go into it to make it work.
What could have been a problem probably to them is more of the physical infrastructure. But again, that I think is being handled at a different level because again, with this framework approved, that is another area that I know, people in the ministry are working on. Because for us, there are certain areas where we can only make proposals.
The public schools are congested and we have very few teachers, so manpower is less. You find a school has a teacher handles around 120 pupils. So it's very difficult. If you want a child to be attended to very well, you have just still to go to private schools.
The basic education curriculum framework is set to be launched in a pilot program across 470 schools in Kenya. 10 in each county. During this phase, monitoring and revision of the curriculum will be taking place to ascertain whether it will be ready for official rollout in 2018.
We have been discussing with stakeholders, we have been discussing with experts. I mean, if you wanted to hurry it, we would have done that engagement for 1 year, move on to pilot the following year, and move on to the third stage, which will be this year. But we said, no, this is something that we must get right.
The curriculum will be rolled out in a phase-in, phase-out basis, starting with the 2 years of pre-primary, grade 1 and grade 2.